Greetings again from the Boogie Down South Bronx. This is Jeffrey Cortez reading you another chapter from my book, Memoirs of Pastor Rajatabla, Pentecostal Private Eye. The book is available as a paperback or Kindle ebook at at Amazon.com if you go there. Also, if you want to order a paperback for pickup, or I believe also delivery, you could order a copy from your nearest Barnes & Nobles by simply going online, choosing the location nearest to you, and putting in an order. All right, so a description of the intention, the mechanisms of the book you could find below, posted below. Also, to give you a brief understanding of when you read the pages, you'll see that it's on regular type, and then there's a script type, italics type. So the regular type of font is the problem that's presented to Raja by community members of the neighborhood or from local congregations regarding something that has disturbed them or has been of great concern to them, whether it's based on hysteria or gossip or observation. So he is clinically trained in observation, so he for free, he doesn't charge him. He goes and examines and investigates the problem, and then in this journal, aside from reporting back to them, in his journal, which he has nicknamed Tabla, he writes down Dear Tabla, and then he writes down the details. That's the inside joke with the name of Rajatabla. Also, an explanation of the usage of that Spanish term, a brief explanation you could find in the descriptions posted below. All right, so let's start with chapter 16. We're up to chapter 16 already. Rivers of living waters. Rivers of living waters. And the introductory Bible verse is from 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with the humble is wisdom. Okay, so let's start off with well-known evangelist Goya disliked any form of honoring female pastors. This particular evangelist also sought to persuade religious organizations to pressure and expel churches with female clergy. Pastor Raja, however, owed a lot spiritually to women in leadership. Once during a large ministers' convention, while invited guest speaker Goya was making anti-female clergy innuendos, Raja stormed out the auditorium while yelling, "Goya, you're full of it." Raja was shortly after reprimanded by his denomination's leadership and his credentials suspended for a year. Although Raja respectfully submitted to their authority, he never stopped believing that God doesn't like ugly. A couple of years later, the evangelist again invited to be the main speaker at the annual convention. Goya appeared slimmer and healthier. He requested from the leadership that it be Raja who would introduce him to the audience. Although feeling humiliated, Raja takes the microphone and gloomily introduced Goya. Dear Tabla, years of westernized prosperity, theological diet of eating red meats, high sodium products, carbs, gluten-rich, sugary, and carbonated products struck down a celebrated preacher. Evangelist Goya's lower abdomen became very swollen, and he hadn't been able to have a bowel movement for weeks. There was nothing medical specialists could do other than recommend a serious operation. Goya refused the surgical procedure and rather go back to his small hometown and pass away peacefully. Upon arrival, his family insisted that he visit Pastora Lola for divine healing. Lola was the pastor of a small congregation that met in a small makeshift church building in a rural part in Puerto Rico. Although Goya always preached against female pastors, he swallowed his pride and traveled to see her. Lola prayed over him and afterwards told Goya that he must forsake eating junk foods, fatty red meats, and instead eat vegetables and drink fresh juices. And then go use her special Rio de Jordán, that's Jordan River, outhouse by the river 7 times. Although years of big city toilet use had made Goya never ever want to return to use wooden latrines of his childhood, he complied with Lola's inspired directions. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, nothing. Day 4, nothing. Day 5, nothing. Day 6, nothing. A year later, back in New York, after swallowing my pride, I introduced Goya at our annual ministerial convention. The main speaker walked uprightly toward the front, took the microphone, and began speaking. Brothers and sisters, I come to you very humbled. After years of mistreating the body God gave me by living a life of gluttony, my bowels refused to work. The mountains of decaying foods inside me began to release deadly toxins throughout my body. Butcher-minded doctors just wanted to mutilate my insides. Then the Lord brought me back to my roots in Puerto Rico. Through Pastor Lola, he made me swallow my pride and sit in an uncomfortable outhouse. Day 1, nada. Day 2, nada. Day 3, nada. Day 4, nada. Day 5, nada. Day 6, nada. But on the 7th day, glory to God, that was like rivers of living waters. From that night, Goya determined to humbly share that testimony at every place he had demeaned women in ministry. There have been reports of many male attendees being delivered from constipations of all sorts. Everywhere Goya shared his broken bondage and lighter load. Bendición and bendiciones.